Continuing from the previous episode 1670. Damn. Looking at this scene, not only the 4 demon guards looked in astonishment, but even the eyes of the 4 soul venerable and all the powerhouses present became astonished. They just made wedding dresses for others by doing this, which made them extremely angry from the bottom of their hearts, and tried to kill Xiao Yan completely. Let's go. Everyone looked at each other, and then they didn't bother about personal grievances and went directly to the inside of the Wujishan formation. As for Irene, she has already left here. After all, there are many treasures given to her by his teacher, so it is quite easy to leave here. And it was this move that established her status as a queen in Li Soul Realm in the future. Boom! Xiao Yan was extremely fast and stepped into the Wuji Mountain formation directly in front of everyone. Although there were many strong men chasing after him, Xiao Yan was not afraid at all. It's such a strange power. Just after entering here, Xiao Yan felt a burst of incredulity, because there were clearly 5 huge stone pillars that were incomparably huge. After Xiao Yan entered here, they moved quickly and temporarily bound Xiao Yan's figure to one side. Ho ho ho! Just when Xiao Yan was thinking about how to cross the 5 fast-moving stone pillars, not far behind Xiao Yan, a strange little beast roared slightly, as if to remind Xiao Yan of something. Little guy, little Zuoma. Xiao Yan turned his head to look, and found that on the strange little beast, little Zuoma was lying quietly, breathing one after another, as if falling into a coma, but it was not serious. You mean, send her over? The next moment, the little beast roared desperately, looking at the bottom of the 5 stone pillars that were moving at a high speed, and said hurriedly. The 5 stone pillars, moving at high speed, soon completely covered the dark space at the bottom to protect it, but Xiao Yan was able to detect that the dark space at the bottom seemed to contain some kind of tyrannical magic power, which was related to the many treasures in his body. The same wonderful thing. Xiao Yan, stop for me. Just when Xiao Yan hesitated, dozens of strong men from behind rushed in and roared at Xiao Yan. Roar! Seeing this, the strange little beast's eyes were bright, and a roar sounded. I'll trust you once. Seeing this, Xiao Yan made a decisive decision, directly picked up the little beast and the little Zuoma, and immediately made a projection. His arms and footsteps exerted force at the same time, and threw them towards the bottom of the formation. Not good. Stop him. Seeing Xiao Yan's strange behavior, the 4 demon guards were shocked as if they had noticed something, and immediately filled their bodies with a sacred milky white aura, and shot towards Xiao Yan. Humph! 4 fingers in the sky. Xiao Yan didn't look shocked when he saw this. He exerted his strength to the extreme, and lightly tapped the 4 of them. Boom! A flame of more than 100 feet appeared easily, and then the void here was completely ignited, and a dry and hot breath came to the nostrils. You bastard! The fire attribute power is so tyrannical. The 4 demon guards and Xiao Yan were the closest, so they naturally received the full power of Xiao Yan's blow. Light curtain wall. The demon guard realized that Xiao Yan's attack was extraordinary, and one of them immediately opened and closed his hands, and a milky white light shield directly protected the 4 figures. The strength of the demon guard is tyrannical, but Xiao Yan's move was only to buy time, so he bought time at once. Go, little guy! Seeing that the 4 of them were temporarily stopped, Xiao Yan was also looking at the strange little beast and little Zuoma. For some reason, Xiao Yan always felt that the little beast and little Zuoma seemed to have a good heart. What the asterisk is this guy doing? Seeing Xiao Yan and the demon guard briefly fighting each other, many strong men didn't have time to think, and suddenly 5 huge stone pillars suddenly emerged from their feet, roaring at them heavily. Boom! The 5 stone pillars seem simple, but there is a terrifying mysterious fluctuation on them, as if the corpse will be left without the slightest contamination, and the power contained in the stone pillars is not theirs. Strength can handle it. Wang Om! As Xiao Yan threw the 2 small beasts at the bottom of the Wuji Mountain formation, a strange scene suddenly occurred. Peefed! Just as the 5 stone pillars were about to hit the petite figures of the 2, you didn't have to think to know that the next moment they would be crushed into flesh. At the same time, everyone only heard a thud, and the 2 of them actually turned into a gray flame, penetrating the stone pillar directly, and submerged into the bottom of the formation. Quote. Silence, deathly silence. Asshole! Look at what you've done. Suffer to death. It just so happens that you also have a touch of holy flame on your body. When I capture you, It will also make up for my loss this time. Seeing the disappearing strange little beast and little Zuoma, the strong on the scene immediately exploded. When the pot was opened, the 4 demon guards completely wrapped Xiao Yan one after the other. The milky white light filled his body, and it seemed that he had been prepared for a long time. What should we do? Seeing this, the other strong men were nervous. Go ahead, I don't believe in this evil. If we crack this formation, then the immortal fire will be ours. As soon as the voice fell, the powerhouses of the other 4 courtyards joined forces to crack the Wujishan formation. So ruthless? Seeing the 4 demon guards wrapping himself directly, blocking all his escape routes, Xiao Yan couldn't help but spit out a drool in his throat, and spoke with difficulty. I am now in the middle stage of the 4-star fighting immortal, facing the 4 powerhouses in the early stage of the 5-star fighting immortal. This kind of battle is probably in a deadly situation. Only by relying on the holy flame and many means of pressing the bottom of the box can it be possible. A lifeline. Boy, just grab it and hand over the source of holy flame in your body, we can spare you. Seeing Xiao Yan motionless, the strongest demon guard among the 4 immediately said. The 4 demon guards with the strength in the early stage of the 5-star fighting immortals can be regarded as looking down on me, but this is trying to restrain me, but it is not enough. The voice just fell, and suddenly Xiao Yan's body was filled with fiery red crimson flames and khaki fiery hearts. Tianyan burst out suddenly, rendering his breath as hungry as a flame king. Holy Flame ranked 35 on the Holy Flame list. Is it Huoxin Tianyan? But, can you recognize this thing? Seeing Xiao Yan's fierce resistance, the demon guard leader did not feel any displeasure, but a treacherous smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and even a pure white light appeared on the palm of his hand. The group slowly emerged. The pure white light group is only the size of a fist, and it is wrapped in white light that cannot be seen as a power, but the violent shaking exudes mysterious power, but it is like a human heart. That mysterious power is very common to other people, but for Xiao Yan, it was a devastating pressure. Ji Yu Dong. Seeing this, Xiao Yan shrank his pupils tightly and lost his voice. What is this? With the appearance of this thing, Xiao Yan actually found that Fenju in his body exuded an aura of fear, and even the 2 holy flames in his body and the holy flame heart on his chest burst out with fear. Meaning, this thing is definitely aimed at holy flame. Could this thing be the so-called holy flame killer? After a while, a touch of astonishment appeared in Xiao Yan's heart. Continuing from the previous episode 1671. Master of the Holy Flame, let's capture it. The leader of the demon guard was at a height below 0, the pure white light group on the palm of his hand kept shaking, and a trace of mysterious and unpredictable power spread out. Damn, what the asterisk is this? Xiao Yan's eyes were extremely solemn, floating in the air. The power of the holy flame in his body was greatly restricted. Seeing that your death is imminent, I will tell you with great compassion. This is a pure heart. It's the most powerful thing that is specifically aimed at holy flame. Seeing Xiao Yan sitting quietly in the void like a mouse that could easily be captured, the demon guard leader roared. His tone was quite indifferent, and he said with a sure-to-win demeanor. Pure heart? As soon as the demon guard leader's voice fell, Xiao Yan also noticed something and was surprised. Pure heart, this is the product of the countless arrogances of their extraterritorial evil clan. Having it is enough to limit half of the holy flame power of the holy flame controller, and once the source of holy flame is contaminated by the pure heart, it will be completely suppressed by its seal, as short as a few hundred years, as many as 1,000 years. The power of holy flame. It can be said to be the most outstanding masterpiece among the evil tribes outside the territory. At this time, Yu approached and explained. Xiao Yan heard the words, but did not speak, but looked solemnly at the pure heart wrapped in white light above the demon guard leader. The ability to control holy flames such as Huoxin Tianyan in the middle stage of the 4-star Do Xian is enough to show that your strength and talent are extraordinary, but our demon guards will not let anyone threaten our grand plan of mankind. It's over. After the demon guard finished speaking, his palms tumbled suddenly. Immediately, the white light shook violently, and bursts of strange patterns spread out like energy ripples. Be careful. Yu hurriedly released his dazzling soul power, trying to protect Xiao Yan. Is there a solution to this thing? Xiao Yan took a deep breath and turned to ask. No, there are countless strong people in the world, and no one can find a way to crack it. Once you are contaminated with a pure heart, I am afraid that the holy flame in your body will be completely suppressed and sealed. Yu said solemnly, since that's the case, I don't believe in this evil. Thunderfire Hell King. Xiao Yan's expression was shocked when he heard the words, and the thunder attribute power of the soul clone in his body instantly emerged, and immediately crashed into Xiao Yan's flames. At that time, a huge figure like a giant that lifted the sky suddenly emerged. Good trick. Seeing this, the 4 demon guards couldn't help but be surprised. Obviously, Xiao Yan's handwriting was far beyond their imagination. Light of purity. The demon guard didn't take it seriously, his palms were rolling, and the endless white light fell off the heart of purity, and immediately whistled away at Xiao Yan. Damn! The white light that fell from the pure heart just touched the Thunderfire Hell King, and suddenly the Thunderfire Hell King's indestructible body surface, the flame power was like a weak fire encountering a flood, and disappeared in an instant, leaving only the thunder attribute. It's too strong. Yu was in the situation, and naturally felt Baimeng's suppression of the power of Saint Flame. Such a tyrannical power is probably something Xiao Yan can stop. Xiao Yan, will you go to the shrine of the Lord of Souls? Yu said abruptly, seeing Xiao Yan struggling to cope with the monstrous white light. I will go to the temple of the Lord of the Soul. Where is there anything I need? Xiao Yan didn't know that Yu would ask such a question, so he could only grit his teeth and say, if that's the case, then I'll give you a chance to enter the shrine of the Lord of Souls in the future, maybe you can repay me well. As soon as the voice fell, the black robe covering Yu disappeared, revealing the dazzling soul body. Not good. Stop her for me. The demon guard leader who kept urging his pure heart suddenly realized something and said suddenly, his voice was full of extreme urgency. Soul skill, mitnian. After a while, Yu laughed slowly, and then the whole body burned violently like a flame. After the blink of an eye, a wave of sound centered on itself and suddenly spread out towards the surrounding area. Wang buzzing. The sound wave slowly spread, but it was as shocking as a magic sound, which made everyone present tense, and the movements in their hands became slow. The King of Thunder and Fire, eliminate it. Dragon God's first transformation, the third transformation. Fire explosion, swallowing flame technique. For a time, while the 4 demon guards were sluggish by the attack of Yu's soul, the power in Xiao Yan's body tumbled violently, and his strength soared to the half-step 5-star fighting immortal level in an instant. With the blessing of the Dragon God transformation, Xiao Yan's arm turned into a strange cyan color, dragon scales appeared on the cyan arm, and under the dragon scales, there was an extremely obscure dominant fluctuation, which slowly showed. Bring it to me. Xiao Yan's figure burst out like a ghost, and immediately slapped the demon guard with his palm. Oh! Being attacked by the soul force, the demon guard's defensive power and use of Do Qi became extremely slow for a while, so the pure heart in his hand was directly robbed by Xiao Yan. This is the so-called Holy Flame Killer, the Heart of Purity? Just after the Heart of Purity was obtained, both the Holy Flame and Holy Flame Heart in Xiao Yan's body erupted with extreme fearful fluctuations. Xiao Yan couldn't help but put it in front of him and looked at it carefully. Stand up. Gudong. With a sound, the white light surrounding the pure heart disappeared completely and transformed into its true form. This is a palm-sized crystal block. The crystal block as a whole is like a human heart, and the whole is red. There is even a trace of scarlet blood on top of this blood crystal, constantly flowing, but those crystals seem to be faint. About the outline of a miniature version of a human woman, the woman is full of violence and unrestrained, expressing endless sadness. Pure heart. The composition of this thing is actually human? No. Is this the blood of a human woman? So, the Holy Flame Killer was born like this. Despicable, despicable, despicable. In an instant, Xiao Yan seemed to sense the composition of a pure heart, and immediately laughed out loud. The composition of the pure heart, even among the alien races, is classified as a secret. Have you noticed anything? Xiao Yan, are you all right? Seeing Xiao Yan falling into a frantic laughter, Yu just calmed down the ghost chi in his body, and immediately said, ha ha ha, what if you know, humans still need human restraint. Pure heart, detonate it. Bloom with the luster that belongs to you, and completely suppress and wipe out this holy flame. After a while, the threat of Yuer's soul attack dissipated, and the leader of the demon guard laughed loudly. Gudong gudong gudong. With the roar of the demon guard, the pure heart standing on the palm of Xiaoyan's palm suddenly beat violently like a heart, and then an elegant and beautiful woman suddenly emerged from the crystal of the pure heart. At the same time, an extremely tyrannical imprisoning force is also slowly brewing, and it will explode at any time. At this time, Xiaoyan's heart was filled with horror, but behind this shock, there was a touch of madness that was close to extreme, and a touch of anger, continuing from the previous episode 1672. Woo! In the void surrounded by the 4 demon guards, a beautiful figure appeared above Xiaoyan's head. This Qianying is an energy body that emerges from the pure heart, but this Qianying is full of pure power and a violent aura towards the holy flame. This power may not pose any threat to other powerhouses. But for Xiaoyan, who possesses the holy flame, this power is enough to easily suppress the sealed holy flame, and Xiaoyan's journey along the way, a lot of credit should be attributed to the holy flame. If the holy flame is suppressed by the seal, I am afraid that Xiaoyan's cultivation and origin will cause immeasurable damage. This kind of consequence is undoubtedly something Xiaoyan can bear. The pure heart, if nothing else, should be made by human women. These human women are quite special. They are born in the yin and yin. Coupled with some extraterrestrial evil clan's special methods, I am afraid that the pure heart has just formed the nemesis of the holy flame. Seeing the energy body of Qianying that the energy in front of him was becoming more and more intense, and could be completely detonated at any time, Xiaoyan couldn't help but muttered, obviously relying on the tyrannical power of his own soul, and various factors in his body gave him a deep understanding of the pure heart just now. Are you afraid? Suffer to death. Seeing Xiaoyan's understatement, the leader of the demon guard roared, apparently thinking that Xiaoyan was now frightened, but today is the day when Shengyan was bleak, and it was also when Xiaoyan fell. Similar to Xiaoyan, the heaven's favorite who can conquer Shengyan, the demon guard will not let him go, otherwise, once he grows up, it will be a disaster for the evil tribes outside the territory in the future. Obliterating the master of the holy flame, in subduing and suppressing the holy flame, such a credit, if it is passed back to the mouth of the devil of light, I am afraid that he will also rise to the top because of this. Are you afraid? Hearing the demon guard's words, Xiaoyan also sneered, and then made a slight voice, but there was no fear in his voice, instead it was full of arrogance and arrogance. Hush! This voice was not addressed to others, but only to himself. As soon as the voice fell, a *** aura appeared on Xiaoyan's body, which seemed to be provoked by Xiaoyan himself, and permeated from the deepest part of his body. Wong buzzing, old buddy, are you afraid? Xiaoyan asked casually when he noticed such violent and fiery fluctuations in his body and blood responding to him. It seems to be asking about the fighting core in Xiaoyan's body. It seems to be asking about Duo Shengen, or the burning judgment in the body. Even Xiaoyan himself doesn't know who to tell, but it is Xiaoyan that the action calmed down the already restless Shengyan, and at the same time, there was some power in the body, slowly recovering. Since you don't agree, then start rewriting it from now on. The pure heart is also trying to suppress me. Let's dream. If no one can crack it, then I will be the first person in the past and present. The next moment, Xiaoyan's pupils closed slightly, and immediately opened, but Yuer noticed that Xiaoyan's pupils seemed to be filled with some kind of power at this time. Huoxin Tianyan, come out. The great heavenly seed crimson flame, come out. For a time, the khaki flame and the fiery red flame slowly burst out from Xiaoyan's body. Under Xiaoyan's fierce power, the suppression of the pure heart was reduced to a minimum for a while. Have you decided to use the source? But it doesn't matter anymore, it's time to end. The demon guard sneered when he saw Xiaoyan's actions. When the pure heart appeared, it was an announcement of the fall of the master of the holy flame. The foreign evil race and the great thousand world fought countless times. This is an unwritten rule, and no one has ever been able to break it. The fire attribute on this guy is so strong. It turns out that he has the blessings of Saint Flame and the great heaven seed. Seeing this, the powerhouses of the other 4 academies nodded suddenly, finally understanding Xiaoyan's reliance. But then I'm afraid. As soon as the voice fell, the 4 souls and the powerhouses of the 4 courtyards were attacking the Wujishan formation. As they attacked like this, it was only a matter of time before the formation shattered. However, in the dark space at the bottom, the void is squirming, as if some terrifying creature is about to emerge. Something's wrong. This piece of void always gives me a sense of unease. For a while, the four-soul venerable didn't notice a trace of power falling out of his body. It is impressive that he is a strong man in the Senate, Qingfeng. Qingfeng just appeared, and he was hiding, obviously looking for something hidden in this void. Heart of Purity. With a cold snort, the crystal heart of the Heart of Purity swelled violently and exploded abruptly. Qianying's energy body was also like a violently contracting bomb, completely turning into a milky white light. Completely enveloped and bound this void. At this moment, the radiance is radiant, as if the goddess of light imposes the most severe torture on criminals who violated the law. It's good to come. Give it to me. With the help of the dragon god transformation and Fenju, Xiaoyan forcibly compressed the two flames together, and immediately turned into a beautiful lotus seed, attacking the pure heart. One-colored and half-colored Buddha's Fury Lotus. I hope to buy some time for me. Yingying bless me. He casually cast a half-colored lotus seed, and suddenly this extremely terrifying lotus seed actually retreated, and it was completely suppressed by the power of this pure heart in a short time, but this also bought Xiaoyan a lot of time. Wang buzzing. The ethereal ice flames, come out. Immediately, he felt the heartbeat trembling violently in his chest, and a wisp of azure blue liquid flowed down Xiaoyan's atrium to Xiaoyan's palm. How could it be? Two holy flames. Even if the entire void was filled with the purifying power of the Heart of Purity, the leader of the demon guard noticed that on Xiaoyan's palm, three flames of completely different nature had already gathered. Moreover, as a foreign evil race, the perception of holy flame is stronger than any human being. Susu, that's not enough. Seeing the shock on the demon guard's cheeks, Xiaoyan didn't hesitate at all. He watched three liquid-like flames appear on the palm of his hand in astonishment and opened his mouth. Ghost-face Soul Yan, come out. A roar was piercing the heart, but it was Xiaoyan's roar that caused the eyes of everyone present to become stunned, and even a look of disbelief filled them. Eyeball, this guy actually has three holy flames in his body? How is that possible? The leader of the demon guard looked at Xiaoyan's palm. Four clumps of azure blue, cyan, khaki, and fiery red liquid. A rare fear filled his heart. Who would have thought that the most tyrannical and rarest saint flame in the Great Thousand Worlds actually appeared on a human boy at the same time, and when it appeared, not one or two, but three. The power generated by the three holy flames is enough to destroy the world. Continuing from the previous episode 1673, milky asterisk filled the entire undying holy tan space. With the complete explosion of the pure heart, the power of the Five Fingers Mountain formation and the power of fire attributes were weakened a lot. But at this time, in this milky white space, a figure bathed in flames was extremely dazzling. Counting carefully, the colors of the flames surrounding his body turned out to be as many as four. The fire-red flame was the weakest, followed by the khaki flame, the cyan flame, and the azure flame. On the contrary, the azure flame was the most dazzling, but the appearance of the four flames filled the hearts of everyone present with a deep breath of death. Three holy flames exist on a human body at the same time. How is this possible? Even if the power of the holy flame is one, it will destroy the sky and the earth. Three holy flames exist in one person at the same time, which is tantamount to self-destruction. Yu Xiao and Deng Qing said with ashen faces. Who would have thought that the weakest and most inconspicuous guy in the competition for the undead fire this time was actually the most hidden guy? And what this group of people don't understand the most is that there is an unwritten rule in the Great Thousand Worlds, that the most powerful thing like holy flame, even some powerhouses with profound strength, can only devour one, and devour the second. This is enough to explode and die because the power of the two holy flames is different from each other. Why is Xiaoyan able to swallow the three holy flames like this? This guy. It seems that our research has been successful. In the vast world, apart from the supreme beings such as the Holy King, there are very few strong people who can integrate multiple holy flames together. Looking at Xiaoyan with the fierce momentum now, Yu couldn't help laughing. Yu knows that until now, there is not much hope of competing for the undying fire. After all, there are many factors in the four demon guards and the Wuji mountain formation, Not to mention Xiao Yan, who coexists with the three holy flames, but she doesn't have much interest in Schengen herself. She just wants to avenge the countless soul courtyard comrades who have fallen under the hands of the Master of the Soul. This time, the ruins didn't come in vain. At least the results of the teacher's experiment have confirmed. It's time to go. Cast a glance at Xiao Yan, and said with a smile. Soul Academy is conducting research on swallowing multiple holy flames at the same time. Naturally, it is clear that two holy flames exist in a human body at the same time. The power of destruction is definitely not something they can bear, let alone three holy flames today. Destructive power can be said to be unprecedented. Knew that Xiao Yan had three holy flames in his body, and he had come to subdue undying fire. He would definitely go to the temple of the Lord of Souls to subdue Acacia Heartbroken, but the two holy flames could not be, as long as they wiped out their entire souls. The culprit in the hospital pays the corresponding price. Wang Om! Without the slightest hesitation, a beautiful scroll emerged as Yuer's jade hands rolled over. Xiao Yan, we will have a period in the future. I hope you don't let me down. 3 or even 4 saint flames will be enough to grow into the real peak of the great thousand world in the future. As soon as the voice fell, Yuer's jade hand was crushed, and his body became illusory and suddenly disappeared here. The powerhouses of the 5 courtyards naturally hold the scrolls to leave the holy tan of undying, but once they use the scrolls, it means that they have nothing to do with the undead fire, so they will not use them unless they have to. Damn, what should we do? The other powerhouses from the 5th Academy looked at Xiao Yan in midair and said solemnly. Let's wait and see. If things really get to that point, I'm afraid we have to leave here. The guys headed by Deng Qing and several others could only shake their heads helplessly. Not to mention that the power of the 4 demon guards and the power that burst out from the pure heart made them quite struggling, and even the shocking power of the 3 holy flames in Xiao Yan's body made them have to be so serious. With the blessing of the 3 holy flames, if Xiao Yan wanted to obliterate them, it would be extremely easy. There are 3 holy flames in this guy at the same time. The leader of the demon guard narrowed his eyes and lost his voice. My lord, we went to the holy tan of the undead without the knowledge of the devil. It was a big deal, and now we have used a pure heart. Sir, let's retreat. The milky white space was filled with pure power, but Xiao Yan's body was surrounded by 3 holy flames, so the power of the pure heart was greatly reduced. Although the heart of purity is the nemesis of sacred flame, it is also divided into strengths and weaknesses. The heart of purity they use can at best suppress sacred flames ranked in the top 30, but it obviously has very little effect on today's Xiao Yan. Wait a minute, I don't believe that the power of the 3 holy flames can be completely controlled by him. The leader of the demon guard heard the words, and immediately urged the dazzling power of light all over his body to continuously shoot at Xiao Yan. Hoo, old man, I haven't seen you for a long time. Looking at the 4 flames surrounding him like elves, Xiao Yan forced a smile and said, the source fire of the 3 holy flames, plus the primordial fire of the great heaven seed, the pure heart was very restrained on the flame at first, but with the operation of Xiao Yan's body-burning determination and the increase of holy flames, the pure heart, the repression of the heart has suddenly decreased. According to Xiao Yan's perception, it seems that the pure heart is also divided into power. This pure heart is enough to easily suppress the holy flames ranked in the top 30. It is a pity that Xiao Yan's 3 holy flames have now increased, and the power of the pure heart has also been suddenly destroyed. Drop. Come on. In the next instant, the corners of Xiao Yan's mouth became crazy, and a deadly awe filled his body. This guy summoned 3 holy flames. What is he trying to do? Seeing Xiao Yan's crazy eyes, the 4 flames surrounding his body became quiet, and then he slowly faced with his palms closed. The demon guard couldn't help but wonder. Fix it for me. Buddha's fury fire Lotus. It seemed to be roaring like a roaring beast. Xiao Yan's voice just fell, and the Fenju in his body was running at a high speed, and a trace of Do Qi after being tempered by Fenju emerged, covering the 4 flames, and the 4 flames suddenly turned into flames. He had to calm down, and under the guidance of Xiao Yan, the fusion slowly began. After all, this is not the first time to merge, so it is quite easy to merge all the way. For this reason, the dragon scales on Xiaoyan's arms are also bombarding some skins or even under such hot flames, became fleshy and bloody. Crazy. This guy is definitely a lunatic. Seeing Xiaoyan's terrifying scene, the other powerhouses in the 5 major courtyards were filled with fear, and immediately they did not hesitate, cast a ruthless glance at the immortal fire position, and then did not dare to have any after hesitation. The scrolls appeared in the palm of his hand, and all of them left here in an instant. At this point, in the space filled with pure hearts, only Xiaoyan, the 4 demon guards, and the 4 souls were left. The Buddha is angry, and the ghosts and gods will be executed. 3.5 color Buddha's wrath fire Lotus. Xiaoyan's pupils turned red, and his body was filled with vindictive energy and flames. Relying on his instinct, he threw the lotus seed that stood quietly on the beautiful lotus pedestal at the position of the 4 demon guards. Go! Wherever the flaming lotus seed lotus platform passed, the power of the pure heart shattered, and even the ever-steady void, a shattering sound could be heard incessantly. This guy will definitely be a big problem for our confidants in the future. Seeing Xiaoyan's actions, the 4 soul venerable suddenly appeared, and hurriedly filled his body with ghost energy to protect himself. But this mere source of power obviously couldn't resist Xiaoyan's attack. The aftermath, after the respite, was completely submerged under the scorching fire. No, impossible? And the 4 demon guards tightened their eyes, filled with heart palpitations. The holy flame is a deadly threat to the evil races outside the realm. The power generated by the fusion of 3 holy flames may be enough to obliterate the perfect powerhouse of the 5-star fighting immortals. At that time, a roaring explosion like a catastrophe resounded throughout the void. The momentum is huge, like heaven's punishment. Continuing from the previous episode 1674. Boom! The mighty 3-color half-Buddha wrathful fire lotus shone like dawn, completely destroying the power of countless pure hearts, and even the entire void became illusory, with a strong death. Breath emerges. Cough, cough. After a while, Xiaoyan's body suddenly fell from midair towards the bottom. It was obvious that the Buddha's anger lotus, which had just been 3.5 colors, had consumed too much of Xiaoyan's vindictive energy. Have they all disappeared? He fell to the ground, gasping for breath. He didn't care too much, so he took out the Emperor Spirit Pill and swallowed it. Emperor Lingdin, which can be taken once a month, can restore 60% of Do Qi in a short period of time. Crash! A deafening voice sounded, but the voices of the 4 demon guards and other powerhouses disappeared in an instant. According to Xiaoyan's perception, the soul origin of the 4 souls and Mu Wushuang should have been captured by him. Completely obliterated. As for the 4 demon guards, I am afraid that they are also turned into nothingness under the fusion of their own holy flames. No matter what, the formidable power contained in the Buddha's furious fire lotus in 3 colors and a half can be learned from the world, and naturally the 4 demon guards can't handle it. Hee. This little guy has a lot of details, and he actually has 3 holy flames, tisk tisk. After the breath, in a rather dark place, the Heishan Longling grinned. Hoo. After a while, Xiaoyan's breath recovered a lot, and then he glanced away slightly. The power contained in the 3-color and half-colored Buddha's Fury Lotus turned this place into nothingness, and even the towering ancient trees and the Wuji mountain formation disappeared completely, leaving only an extremely huge giant pit. The hot fluctuations emerged, obviously the fluctuations of the holy flame. As for other places, it was a mess. By the way, little Zuoma. As if remembering something, Xiaoyan rolled over and walked towards the giant pit step by step. Boom! At the same time, a sense of awe filled this void. What? Xiaoyan's keen sense of smell was hurriedly startled, and his eyes narrowed to scan the messy void. For a moment just now, it seemed that some creature was staring at him, but in that moment, Xiaoyan's whole body was cold, like a dying person. Zoo! At the same time, at the top of this void, an eagle-like cry resounded completely. With the appearance of this sound, Xiaoyan's heart became solemn again. This is? Enlarged version of the immortal ghost bird? Xiaoyan's eyes widened, the boss hurriedly said. Boom! The strange voices continued, but at the top of this messy void, a huge black shadow obscuring the sun descended vertically and shot towards Xiaoyan. The hole is like a tit, the dark brown feathers, and the golden giant claws indicate an extremely tyrannical attack. The most conspicuous is the crown of the head, a ray of gray flame, beating slowly. The gray flame, like an elf's, contains extremely mysterious power. Wang humming. For a time, the undead underworld Sparrow, which was seriously injured in Xiaoyan's body, also burst into strange waves. What? Is this guy the king of the undead Sparrow? Your undead nymphs are the guardian spirit beasts that guard undead fire? After the breath, the undead nymphs in Xiaoyan told Xiaoyan some obscure information, and Xiaoyan was suddenly shocked. Boom! Humans, retreat! The king of undead ghosts with a huge body and a proud head lowered towards Xiaoyan said to Xiaoyan. This. Xiaoyan fell into a short period of thought. Now that all the powerhouses competing for the undying fire have been resolved, if he retreats, the undying fire will probably have to give up. The strength of the king of undead sparrows in front of him is probably already at the level of a 6-star fighting immortal. Compared with the undying sparrow in his body, it is much more tyrannical, but to make Xiaoyan give up undying fire, for Xiaoyan, it is still there are many reluctances. Don't worry, fight once. After a while, Xiaoyan's pupils became deep, and a wave of determination emerged. Up to now, all I can do is try my best. Fighting soul, the undead ghost, come out for me. Xiaoyan shouted loudly, and above his body, the phantom body of the undead sparrow emerged. Oh, descendants of my clan? Seeing the same energy phantom on Xiaoyan's body, the king couldn't help but muttered. Immortal fire feather. The next moment, Xiaoyan's voice sounded like thunder, and the feather on his body trembled, turning into a sky-filled fire feather and blasting towards this guy. Bang bang bang. The seemingly fierce dark brown feathers burst out, and the king of undead nether sparrow slapped it casually. The space was silent, and the attack was easily resolved. Guru, this. Difficulty swallowing, Xiaoyan looked at the man suspiciously. Thank you, this guy, for completely breaking the imprisonment set by the undead fire on me, in order to thank you. Hand over the 3 holy flames in your body together. Ha ha ha. The voice just fell, and around the man, circles of gray flames spread out like energy ripples. The flames were extremely hot and immortal, which was shocking. It's really a wave of unresolved waves, a fire that never dies. Xiaoyan was a little helpless, but his body was full of fighting spirit. The goal of the king of the undying nether sparrow should also be undying fire, but it's just that he can't handle such a behemoth now. Oh, forget it, the battle just now has exhausted me. No. This is the source fire of the other 3 holy flames in my body, but I have a request on Xiaoyan's palm. 3 flames of different colors are beating. The 3 groups of flames are the flames of holy flames, but they are far from the real origin of holy flames. At best, they are only sub-fires, but they are covered by Xiaoyan, so the king of undead nether sparrows did not find them either. What are the conditions? The man sensed it and said with a smile after finding that the 3 flames on Xiaoyan's palm did not contain any traps. Thank you for your kindness of not killing the senior, but the fire of immortality is the holy flame in the top 20. I wonder if I can let the kid watch the evolution of the senior's devouring? Xiaoyan said humbly. The holy flame on the palm of his hand directly confronted him. It pushes away. This guy, just give me the holy flames so easily? The king of the undead nether sparrow accepted the 3 flames and asked suspiciously. Senior, don't need to worry. The battle just now consumed too much of the junior's strength. It would be too unwise to have a conflict with a strong enough to reach the 6-star Do Xian at this time. But even if I die, I want to see the fire of immortality with my own eyes, so I hope that the younger generation will be successful. Xiaoyan said sincerely, very sincere, and it didn't look like a performance at all. Okay. This king will satisfy you. After this is done, your undead ghost fighting soul, this king, will also repair it for you. Let's start. As soon as he finished speaking, the man was transforming into the real body of an immortal sparrow. The hot gray flames on his head kept beating. In a short period of time, 4 flames of different colors continued to spin around his head. 4 holy flames. Although there are only 4 Saint Yanzi fires, if such a scene is left unchecked in any part of the world, it will probably cause a lot of changes, but there is a fleeting smile on the corner of Xiaoyan's mouth.